Hey guys, it's Matt here, and in this video, we'll be seeing if the iPad Air 2 released in 2014 is still usable with iPadOS 15. I didn't think I was going to be making this video, but here we go. So here's my iPad Air 2 running iPadOS 15, and it honestly runs it really well. I honestly didn't think that it would be able to run it this well, and I have a bunch of apps I need to close open. So just running through some general tests. So let's open up like settings, just for instance, and you can see totally usable. There's no problems there. This is totally fast. I can hop through different things. It is a hair bit slow on some things, but it's totally usable. So if I open up the camera app, let's just say, well, the camera's blocked right now because I have a case here holding it up and it doesn't exactly fit this. So if I flip the camera, there you go. You can see me right there. And it works. It's actually not the slowest thing in the world either. I kind of thought it would have been quite slow, but no, it's perfectly fine. So let's open the App Store, something that's web-based. And what's new in the App Store? There we go. So I haven't actually opened it since I updated this iPad. It works perfectly fine. So let's open up like YouTube. It is a hair bit slow. That wasn't fast, but it wasn't terrible. It's totally usable. With iPadOS 15, they brought quite a few new changes to the table, such as being able to, if I open up like the settings app, oh, this one does not support it. If I open up like the App Store, there's now 3 dots on the top here, which has now been brought to every iPad, and you can open up like a split view, which this iPad supports, and let's open up like Mail. So you can see here, it's able to open up that split view perfectly fine. There's no issues with that, and I can even drag this around, move this to the other side. There's no slowdown, which is awesome. I can make this a slide over window by dragging it like that. Very easy. I can open up this feature, so I can open this up here, see all of the open applications, and I closed it by just swiping up like that. So those new features are brought over to this iPad, which is really cool to be honest. Now let's move on to this iPad's support life. Now last video, when I made this video last year with iPadOS 14, I was surprised that I got 7 updates. Well, now this iPad gets its 8th major release of iOS. So this device will have had 8 years of support by the time iPadOS 16 will have come out, which I guarantee you is not going to run on this iPad. So it's got iOS 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, iPadOS 13, 14, and 15. I don't think anybody really expected that, to be completely honest. I legit thought 14 was the last OS that would ever run on this iPad, but nope, Apple surprised us again and gave this device another update, and it honestly runs it really well. And I'm very happy they brought this over too, because this update brought a massive overhaul to the home screen, which is one of the biggest things. So like you can see down here, we have the app library. So let's say I want to open a split view with the Files app, but I don't want to open a split view with any of the apps down here. Before, you had to open the app with the 3 little recents thing on here, which I have disabled because I never liked them. And you had to go in, open the app that you wanted, close it so it showed up in here, then open the other app you wanted, and then make a split view with it, because that made sense. So if I want to make a split view with VLC, I can just hold that, grab that, and then make a split view. So mainly just going over iPadOS 15 features at this point, but this iPad does get them. So that's a huge plus. Now, this iPad does miss out on a few features of iPadOS 15. So one of them, and actually there are several, first of all with Siri. This iPad does not get offline Siri because it has the A8X processor. You need an A12 or later to do that, which means that you need an iPad 8th gen or 9th gen in order to use offline Siri. Another feature is the Globe View in the Maps app. I'm not actually going to open that because I feel like that would probably dox me, but you don't get that for some reason. I don't honestly know what the reason behind that is, but yeah, you don't get the Globe View in the Maps app on the iPad Air 2. Again, you need the 8th or 9th gen iPad for that. I really don't know why. Now, there are a few features though that this iPad just doesn't get at all. So like I said in the last video, there's no Measure app on this device because this device does not actually support any kind of AR. So if you try to open like the Measure app, like I said, it doesn't work, but you can see here, Measure app would normally actually be sitting right on this first page, or at least that's how I have it. And you can see it's missing, there's a blank spot right here because of that. Because the Measure app does not exist for this device. You can search it in the App Store, you're not going to find anything, and if you Google it, you'll get a result, and it'll try to take you to the App Store, but it won't actually let you download it. It'll say that this app requires features that aren't available for this device. I went over this last video, so yeah, that's a thing. Now, I went over a few apps that I used previously with this iPad, but I actually don't use this iPad for my main anymore. This iPad is just something that I use now if I don't want to bring my main iPad around. My main iPad is my 8th gen iPad, and that's why I have the case right here for this one, because this is actually for my 8th gen, and I'm just using it to prop up this iPad for the video. Now, the reason for that is because of me with school. I actually use the Apple Pencil now with my iPad 8th gen that obviously does not support this. Even if I plug it in, it will charge it. It won't actually pair with the device, so it doesn't really work. Now, with iPadOS 15 came new features, obviously, like I mentioned before with the split screen stuff, but also some minor features, such as low power mode. This is now a thing on every iPad. It should have came out for the iPads and iPods with iOS 9 when that was released. I don't know why Apple didn't include that to begin with, but that's just what they did. So yeah, it's here now. If you have an iPad that supports iPadOS 15, you now get that feature. As a generic day-to-day iPad, this is totally usable. There's honestly nothing wrong with this device. You can even run some games and stuff on here, like Minecraft still runs perfectly fine on this thing, and a lot of features that iPadOS 15 brought to the table, this iPad gets, which is awesome because I didn't think that they would bring everything over, to be honest, but they brought over a lot. One new feature that they actually brought with iPadOS 15 that this iPad also supports is being able to run like iPhone apps in landscape. You actually couldn't do that before. Try it if you have an older iPad or one with running iPadOS 14. It doesn't work. So being able to run these apps in landscape now is really nice, and I know the feature is there for iPads with the keyboard support, which would be my 8th gen if I had a keyboard cover, but they brought it to all these ones here as well, I assume for just convenience. So that's really nice. Now, when it comes to general productivity, how does this device fare? Well, I have the Pages app installed on here, and I don't know what this is going to open up. So if you pair a Bluetooth keyboard to this, you can type on it. I've actually used this as an iPad with a keyboard just to write some school documents and stuff. I don't really use it anymore now that I have my 8th gen, but yeah, I used to use this all the time and this is taking a very long time to make a document. But yeah, you can just make documents here. I can type, and that's lagging just a hair bit, but I don't think people are gonna be typing like this. So it's perfectly fine. There's nothing, and this needs to delete because I don't need you. Delete. But yeah, it works perfectly fine for productivity. If you want to use it for that, you can. So yeah, with the new home screen, obviously, I have widgets on the first page here, and I'll show you how you add new ones here on the second page. And you can see all of these still work fine. There's nothing that you miss out on if you have an old iPad like this when it comes to like widgets. So like I could add that, I'm not going to, but I could add that to this part of the home screen. And I actually have my 8th gen very customized for school stuff, so that works out really well. So yeah, honestly, I didn't think that this iPad would be as usable as it is, but Apple went and done it and made this device with iPadOS 15 completely usable in 2021, and it will be totally usable in 2022. I'm very happy for what Apple did with this because honestly, I didn't think that they were going to support this device, and this actually made me very mad when iPadOS 14 came out and they didn't add the app library to the iPad, and they didn't add widgets to the home screen. They didn't add all that stuff. I didn't think this iPad was going to be getting 15, which I knew for a fact. I heard rumors and stuff that they were going to redesign the home screen. They were going to add home screen widgets and stuff. I'm like, you should have brought that to iPadOS 14 before these devices got cut. But it didn't matter because they actually didn't get cut in the first place. So other than this iPad being 7, going to be 8 years old, it's still just an iPad. You can use it exactly like a brand new one, which is awesome to say the least. I didn't think that that actually would be the case. But yeah, if you have one of these iPad Airs and you're still happy with it, then go on, keep using this iPad because it is going to serve you very well. Don't buy a brand new one of one of these, obviously, unless you can find one really cheap used on eBay for like maybe less than $100, then maybe it'd be better for you to buy a 9th gen iPad. It'd run way better than this one would. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. It was mainly a video of just me talking about this device, but yeah, totally usable. You still have one, continue using it because it's just gonna give you a great experience. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, then give it a like. Get subscribed if you like the content that you see on this channel. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys all later. Bye!